what will make KYMCA a big organization as it is. And I'm sure none of you will regret, or every one of you will be so proud to be associated with this great organization. Are we not proud of KYMCA? Are we not proud of KYMCA? KYMCA is the home for young MCAs, and we are the change that we want to see in this world. Thank you so much. God bless you, and feel very much welcome.
Thank you so much, Shasha Wamai. We also have Stacy Nario, who is not here today as part of our NEC membership. We have the two-thirds. Parliament imeshindwa na mambo ya two-thirds. At KYMCA, we have met that measure, and even in the county assemblies. Before I call Mercy to continue with the program, my name is, I had said earlier, my name is Thuo, Fio, son of Thuo. I was the first time I was elected was in 2013 through the TNA, the National Alliance Party, TNA party then. I was just 25 year old. Then in 2017 I lost terribly through Jubilee. Nikaibiwa. Unajua hakuna mwanasiasa huwa anashindwa. Nikaibiwa kura na nikaenda nyumbani. But in 2022, also through Jubilee, I got a comeback in Karura Muthaiga. And I must say that back in 2013, the experiences that I have got and the knowledge that I have got through KYMCA, the capacity that I have built as a person, as an MCA, is key. When I look back in 2013, I was a green member of county assembly. How I wish KYMCA was in existence then, because some of the mistakes maybe that I did, I would not have done them. So to the first time MCAs, this is your home. And we thank all the partners that we have here who are working with us. We'll have someone who is going to recognize all of you, from Zarendo to CMD to HSF and CAS. All of you, you'll be recognized here. So may the good God bless you. And now I call upon Mercy to continue with the program of the day. KYMCA? Are you forgetting KYMCA? It is indeed the home of young MCAs. Few ni few?
Few ni few. Hiyo makofi ilikuwa ni nimepata aibu ama? Basi tuifanye vizuri ndio tuchangamke. Thank you so much. Sasa tutaenda kwa part ya entertainment, and the next person that I'm about to call here is Felix Keys. Akuja atu entertain kidogo, si ndio? Felix, kama pia hiyo ndio jina yako, usikuje uniaibishe. Kama sio utaniita kando. Ni yako? Basi tumkaribisheni Felix kwa makofi. Tafadhali. Makofi. Felix, you're welcome.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Felix, you don't go to. You don't go to. I just want to know if we are in the right place. Are we really the young MCAs, really? Why are we behaving like old mamas? Hii ngoma inapigwa ngoma kali sana. Tumekaa, at least tusimame to dance, tuchangamke. Ama namwona Felix bana anakuja kwa meza yako mpaka ajaribu kufanya hivi. Wapi? Jamani, tusiangushe Felix, ndio? Sasa zile anaanzisha hii kitu tuanzishe. Tumeboeka sana. Felix, mbona ndio tumeshika yani? No. tuje tu dance kidogo. Kidogo tu. Dance kidogo. Mambo ni kama hayo nao. Bado. Tusimame dance kidogo. Mheshimiwa. Makofi kwa Ken. Makofi kwa Felix. Makofi zaidi. At least amefanya tumetoa jasho kidogo, si ndio? I know some of us tumetoka kwa hii table tukaenda the other table, we've exchanged numbers, right? At least tunajua nani, si ndio? Si kuna ile baridi, you know, huyu ni mtu mkubwa sifai kumuongelesha. Anyway, back to business. I request all lights to be switched off. 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 All lights to be off. Lights. I think we'll just use this. So thank you. Now we'll play our audio-visual clip. Sawa. We pay more attention to this. Tumekuja kufurahi, tumekuja kusoma, tumekuja kuongeza at least zaidi wisdom.
leading young Chamber of Commerce, KNCCI, KEWOPA, Uraia, IBP, IEA, CIPE, and Transparent International. We have achieved quite a lot and endeavor to continue achieving much more. Our key areas of focus in this strategic plan include climate change, gender equality, regional economic blocks, and most importantly, effective legislation with a target to move upwards to 100 bills enacted into law from the 25 bills in the last period. Our neck are always available to listen to each one of you. Our doors are open for each and every one of you to engage with us. Thank you for being part of the KYMCA family, home of the young MCAs.
This presentation has proudly been sponsored by Siasa Place.
Welcome to the launch of the Kenya Young Members of County Assembly Strategy.
Okay, lights on. Thank you. Tulisema our slogan is KYMCA. KYMCA. Okay. I'll now take this opportunity to welcome our CEO, I'll welcome our CEO, Honorable Chris Mark. Makofi. At least tumpatie vizuri, si ndio? We will welcome our Honorable Chris Mark. Makofi tena. Mmoja CEO si kama masikidiwa. Si ndio? Asante.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. She's really made us dance, eh? First of all, to thank you for coming here and to congratulate you for getting the right blue. Until now, we don't know which is Parliament blue. Maybe someone can lift up the hand who got it right, I see. All of you have a blue. They're saying Franklin Mukwanja. I don't know where Franklin Mukwanja is. They're saying you're the one who got the right blue. So clap for Franklin Mukwanja. So before I even make my few remarks, it's good at least also give an opportunity to people who have also been there. I always say there is the KYPA, which would be the Kenya Young Members of Parliament, young parliamentarians. They're the reason we thought of such an idea back in 2018. So, and I know my good friend Buluma is here. And when we didn't know the difference between a councillor and an MCA, we are with Buluma trying to attempt it in 2013. So give him a round of applause as he says a few things. Karibu Buluma. Makofi tena, napenda makofi huyu.
Clearly this is an ambush, but I believe I'm equal to the task. Good evening. KYMCA hoi. Hey, hiyo nakushinda. Anyway, I'm very, very delighted to come and witness this very auspicious occasion. I must say, venye Chris amesema, it's been a long way coming. If you asked me some years back that one day I'll be attending a launch, ya KYMCA strategic plan, it was a pipe dream. But I thank God because it is a dream we had as KYPA. By then, tulikuwa tunasema how do we engage counties? How do we mentor MCAs? But here we are. Clap for KYMCA. I've been ambushed. I can't say more, but just to wish them luck and the best of luck. Congratulations once again. KYMCA, we will forever soldier on together as Siamese twins, because that is what we are. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. Asante. He's saying it's an ambush, but if I would not have given him this one, angenitesa functions za KYPA. So sinmelipa deni. But he's a good friend of mine, and we did vie in the same party in 2013. That was the Rainbow Coalition, at the time headed by Mama Charity. He was vying in Kayole, and for some reason I thought Karen would be easy, because someone told me, no joko ni kwa matajiri. So they will just vote the first person who looks almost light and what have you, because most of them are. But I came to realize the hard way that people in Karen do not vote. If you tell them about the roads, they tell you I have a big foil drive. If you tell them about the storm water and drainage, they tell you, but what for? I have a borehole, so I have no issue with the kanjo, and I have my own biogas digester. The people who actually vote are the people who work for them, and they don't actually live in Karen. So I had to be campaigning a bit in Rongai, a place called Bangladesh, and if it's not Bangladesh, I had to be in Karen and Uko. I'm a Bulbul, or some place called Gataka, and also come back this way to Dagoretti. There's Ngandowad, which actually where Lenana school is. So that was the hard lessons me and him found in politics, when we thought it was easy and the seat was new. Now, I'm happy to just talk a bit about the story of KYMCA, and I know my neck has really said a lot. When we came up with the idea, of course, we really admired what the KYPA were doing. And if we thought like they could be organized, and at the time I think they were around, in 2018, you were around I think 70. We did a rough count and we looked at the IBC data and we said 1,027. And we looked at all counties. So we are telling Buluma, you people have 2 assemblies, the Senate and the National Assembly. Us, we have 47. So if you want to make Kenya go silent, it's actually a phone call away. We just call our coordinator in Taita Taveta. No, Kwale at the farthest, and Turkana, Mandera, and I think Lamu. Those I think are the 4 corners. And we tell them on Wednesday at exactly 2:30, raise your hand, ask the speaker for 5 minutes of silence, maybe to think about the plight of youth in this country. Is in the country quiet for at least 5 minutes? That campaign in the Senate, yeah? And that's the reason we thought that if these numbers can be organized, they can do a lot of marvelous things. And the reason for this is we thought that we had many numbers, but they were just statistics. We thought that we could push a lot of agendas for the youth, but even more so is the capacity. You can imagine, I will not mention the county, you find a governor is a former World Bank boss, and you find an MC chairing a committee of PICPAC. Before that, he had just finished high school. And as he was doing his diploma, he was lucky to have won. And he's supposed to sit opposite that governor and tell him, and put him to task on fiscal accountability. Where the money is for this project, where the money is. So we thought that if we give this MCA's capacity, they'll be able to ask the right questions, pass the right legislations, and even do their mandate in the 5 years and be proud of it. We felt that KYMCA, or rather the MCA position, is not like a kingdom. You're not guaranteed to be there for life. You just have those 5 years. And the word honorable, I always say, remains. Whether you are there permanently or not, but when you're outside there, whether you have the money or not. Yeah, and I always tell my NEC colleagues, until now I'm still called honorable. So I don't know in a good way, I'm kufanya nitue kakitu. So since that name must remain there, as KYMCA, we must build your whole self. We must look beyond politics. So if you're not in politics, what are you doing? And that's why you saw a program called Leading Young. We must build the family, we must build the whole MC as a person, and we must make him have, of course, character and also be able to journey beyond politics. But of course, is also to make sure that we can retain the most numbers, because we want those young MCAs who go there can retain there. Now, another dynamic we came to notice, that the MCA position is used as a stepping stone. I know someone who started as an MC in 2013, was a senator in 2017, and was almost a governor in 2022. Now, there's a quote by John McCain, or rather a saying, that if we can build the best institutions, but we need the human capital really built. So we felt it's not good, of course, to see the MC as a stepping stone, because someone might just not do anything for the 5 years. He's just entering accumulation of resources and networks so that he can go for the next seat. But since it's a possibility that happens, we thought that we must build the character of these MCAs in whole, because like a young tree, it must be nurtured when it's young. And we felt like we have the best institutions in Kenya. We have the best laws and we have the best policies. But the people who take over at times also need to be strengthened. And that is the human capital I'm talking about. I think in Kenya we have been through like 3 dynamics that some people, especially our friends in the West, and when I mean West is West Africa, they are now like a country like Gambia. And I'm saying that because I know there's no one from Gambia here. It is just the other day that they were able to come out of a dictatorship. Some of them, us, we've done a dictatorship. We've done, or rather what we would perceive as a strongman presidency or a populist presidency. We have gone to the era of almost a civil war. So we are seen to be a mature democracy. So the institutions are very strong. And that's why we felt in KYMCA, if we can build the character of the young MCAs or use it as a pivotal point. By the time these MCAs are going for the seat of MP, who are we to stop them? But they become MPs who can actually defend those institutions and enforce those policies. We always say Kenya has the best policies, but they're never actually implemented. If they become senators, they become people of character, like my good friend here, who will speak next. So that is the story of KYMCA, and that's why we say we are the home of the young MCAs. So I won't say much, but I'm glad that you're here. Na munipa makofi kidogo. So thank you for that, and I know next I should be going for a panel. But I forgot my program, so I would hope I will get a bit of a program, so I call my panel to the front. Thank you. So the panel, and we really had to call MCAs, is because we want them to say the journey we started. This is the first time we are launching. We had a strategic plan in the past. The issue of launching is not the thing, but how did we utilize it, how did we enforce it, and at what capacity did we able to utilize the past one before we came to this one, and maybe what we would do better with this new one, because of course it has gone a lot. We did, maybe I take you a bit of the journey. We have 47 counties and 940 MCAs. For us to be able to reach this document, we had to do validation meetings. So it's difficult to bring 940 MCAs to one sitting. I think we would need the whole of, maybe, it would look like a concert. We would need maybe Kasarani and whatever. So we had to go to the regions, pinpoint their minds, hear what they had to say, so that we can come with this. So the first person I'll call is Mheshimiwa Kevin Mahelo. Please take your seat. Mheshimiwa Kevin Mahelo, we call him the Mugabe of KYMCA. He's doing his the third or the second term. Na bado hajapata kipara. And the interesting thing, the first time he did with an unpopular party in Kakamega, which was TNA, in 2017, sorry. And in 2022, he was also in a party that was against the wave, which was UDA. So I think he likes to test the times and challenge the old doctrine. So karibu sana. Makofi kwake. Mheshimiwa Brian Osodo, him is not Mugabe because the title is taken. He is a Museveni of KYMCA because also doing the second term. And this second term, he said the parties were not auguring to his ideology, so he went and as independent. Karibu, all the way from Migori. Dada Sasha Omai, who is our treasurer. And the reason we gave him the treasurer is because we felt if we give it to the men, they'll not spend the money wisely. So you see the money that's used here prudently, it's thanked to her. Makofi kwake. Her county is Nyandarua. She says it's a potato producing county. And finally, is Mheshimiwa Few. Mheshimiwa Few, karibu here. It's a name with a very few people. That's why it's Few ni Few, from Karura. Someone was asking him, who voted for you? You know, people thought Karura is just a forest. So thank you. So maybe we'll start here by an introduction. So I've been told I'm doing my work as a moderator. Will I remove this one? Oh, thank you. And maybe I can get like 2 more microphones. So maybe you can start with a round of introduction, yeah? You know, this feeling feels like Jeff Koinange. I'm just feeling the way he feels. He says, we start here. It's actually a good feeling. So, Mheshimiwa Few, maybe you can introduce yourself, maybe say a bit about what you're doing in maybe a minute or so. Karibu.
Thank you. Once again, good evening. My name is Fio Nefio. It's how you pronounce it. If it's in Kikuyu, you can say Fio Nefio. In English, you can say FIO is FIO. So thank you once again, Chris Mark. As I had said earlier, I'm from Karura, Muthaiga, that is in Westlands constituency, and I'm serving my second term, and I'm happy to also serve at KYMCA as partner liaison. We no longer call donors in KYMCA because what we are doing is partnership. We are partnering with you. And beyond politics, I'm also a farmer, and I'm also very passionate about environment. And back in 2015, I sponsored a motion in Nairobi County Assembly to bestow honor on Wangari Maathai. That's why you no longer have Forest Road. You have Wangari Maathai road that used to be Forest Road. And part of the reason of doing that is because when you see the name Wangari Maathai, you remember of her boldness and also the need to conserve the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Few. In very few, because of course we'll get to talk more about ourselves, just a bit of introduction, and maybe your role in KYMCA.
All right, thank you. Good evening once again. As I said, my name is Honorable Sasha Wamai from Nyandarua County. In KYMCA, I'm the National Treasurer. I keep the bags. And in Nyandarua County, I'm the Deputy Minority Leader, which means I'm from the Jubilee Party, which is the minority party in our assembly. I'm part of the Speaker's panel and other 4 committees. And one committee I'm passionate about is the Agriculture Committee, which I'm a member because it forms the backbone of our county, which is known for producing potatoes and milk. And so in KYMCA, being a home of the young MCAs, it's a place I have developed skills in terms of legislative capacity. I have been able to engage like a senior, being my first time. I don't feel like I'm a newbie in the assembly because I have been equipped with the capacity and the skills to legislate like we call them the doyens or the legends in the assembly. And so when you see us here, I believe the representation that we give in our assemblies is outstanding. And I can proudly say I'm one of the outstanding members of the county assembly. And at the age of 35 years, I was aspiring to be a woman representative in the county. Yes. And I know in 2027, I'm going to nail it because I'll have gotten all the skills and build the capacity possible. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Mheshimiwa Brian Osodo, as we introduce ourselves, you can just say and maybe suggest one of the things that the last strategic plan, where maybe was our shortfalls, and maybe what do you think we could improve with this one?
Thank you so much. 1, 2. Can you hear me? 1, 2. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Honorable Brian Osodo. Brian Osodo is the organizing secretary of KYMCA. I'm a member of County Assembly from Migori County, where I also happen to chair the Water and Energy Committee, and also a member of the Finance Committee. As the CEO has said, I was here from 2017 to 2022, where we also had a strategic plan, and we tried working out a few things here and there, but though we had some shortfall, especially in terms of funding, because as he has said, our aim is to reach all corners of the country and all the county assemblies. And that needs a lot of facilitation, movement, and bookings here and there. And we were not able really to reach as much catchment as we had purposed. Secondly, we had purposed in the last regime to sponsor at least 50 bills. We didn't get to that number, we got to 25. This is because also of funding and lack of capacity and technical know-how. We really didn't get, the process that a bill goes through. It's so hectic, it's so cumbersome as well. So we didn't get to the 50 that we are targeted, but I'm glad that we sponsored at least 25 bills that took place, and this time around we are looking at 100 bills. So among other shortfalls, I can briefly say that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you know, someone has just texted me and said, you people are too partisan. We need someone to just say the truth who was with you the last time in terms of supports. We'll call one of our partners, Edwin from CAS, tafadhali, kuja useme kama wanasema ukweli. I don't know where Edwin was. Onde ule. Makofi kwa Edwin. I know I've also ambushed him, but someone says, tunataka kujua kama ni ukweli hizo shortfalls, and that's are the reasons you didn't achieve the targets. Thank you. So we will listen to them. He really put a lot of support at the time. So Mheshimiwa Mahelo from Kakamega, you of course has introduced yourself, and briefly, just tell us, what do you feel are the milestones that we did achieve until 2022?
Thank you. My name is Mahelo Kevin. As said earlier, this is my second time. I was elected the first time on Jubilee ticket in Kakamega County. I was the only one. In fact, the former president used to know me by name. This second time we tried. I was again re-elected on UDA, but we are 6. I'm a founder member of Young MCA, the KYMCA, and I'll attribute my second re-election to the KYMCA. We had a strategic plan, though it was midway, but I remember we had a program called campaign planning. It was in our strategic plan. And that program prepared us for both winning and losing. So in case you lose, you have to go with your life. In case you win, you also have to go with it. So we had challenges, as earlier mentioned, in terms of putting donors together. But I want to thank most of them. And we always say our mother was NDI. I saw Benedicta somewhere, the Ronos. They really were with us, and they made us who we are. So we are proud. And now being in their second term, and also now launching a 5-year strategic plan is a good thing. What we lacked in the last strategic plan was the continuity, post 5 years. But currently, the office, when we exit in 2027, KYMCA will still stand strong because it's not dependent on us here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now I'll come to Edwin, and I'll attest the process of passing a bill in the county can be very tedious. And we did try, because 25 bills would not be an easy thing. It would take you 8 months. My first bill took me 1.5 years to pass it, yeah? Of course, the resources of the county cannot be muscled up, or rather be measured like the ones for the parliaments at the national, yeah? But I don't know, maybe as a partner who did hold the KYMCA hand, maybe what are the maybe innovative ways an MC can use? Because of course you can't keep saying that, you know, members in the other committees are now supporting me, the older members are seeing me as a threat, or maybe I'll be re-elected if I was nominated. Maybe as you introduce yourself, you can share your thought on that. Thank you.
Thanks. Good evening, everybody. My name's Edwin Doga Utichilo, and I work for Konrad Adenauer Foundation. So, in brief, before I get to your question, CEO, for people who are getting to know about us for the first time, we are a German political foundation, and we are more affiliated to the CDU party. If you understand the German politics, CDU was in power for 16 years. And they lost elections. So I usually say we lost elections. So I understand the pain of not being in government in terms of the fundings that we are getting. And so that has a direct implication also in the kind of, and also in the depth of partnership that you can have with some of our partners, including KYMCA. And so that directly hits on Chris's point, where then he asked, right now, with the constraints that we are facing, how then do we balance this, and how do we make contributions as member of the county assembly in our different assemblies, knowing that money is hard to come by? One is that, like I said, this is not an easy route to follow. For you to be an MCA, it means that there is a calling and there is an urge that you really, apart from the money basis, there's an urge that you're trying to create in the community, which is very important. And this is the urge that should push you towards thinking differently. And I say you cannot have, and I've been saying this because we also had a workshop in the morning, you cannot always peg a decision to money. At times you have to have a decision and you have to learn or unlearn some of the behaviors and use whatever that is on the table. And for now, what I would say as young people, we have the digital space on the table. And I would say that if we use this digital space and combine with whatever small incentives that we're getting, then we would make our small contributions. And it calls for us to understand that these are reasons to why we were either nominated or elected. Amidst all the thousands of members of the county assembly who tossed or who accepted to run for this position. And so if we can understand that there is a legitimate or there is an inherent calling from our end, then we can be able to push ourselves beyond the boundaries. I would say that money follows our conviction to a certain pattern of events, so let us stick to the conviction in terms of that pattern of events that is quite in-depth in us.
Thank you. Money follows conviction. So coming to Honorable Few, and maybe I'll take a different trajectory. It was said, and I was an MCA, but I didn't see it, that we are always influenced by the big envelope. At times it's a white one. I've never seen a green one. I've not actually seen any, but I've heard of the white and the brown envelope. In you executing your mandate as an MCA, vis-a-vis not having achieved our milestones in the previous strategic plan, because it is said that we come out strong, we speak, but of course, when the executive people come with those kind of envelopes, it diverts us and we decide to let it go. I don't know, you can tell us a bit of that, because we're in 2013, and how, as a young MCA, you'd counter that and not derail your social responsibility to the people who voted you.
Thank you, Chris. As part of our mandate as MCAs, we are involved in budget making process, and we're also involved in oversight, and part of it is also vetting maybe members of county. These are the CEC and the chief officers. And I must say, lobbying is done. Because people have to lobby for the positions maybe that they want, and also the governor maybe wants his or her budget to pass through the county assembly. I must say there are all manner of shenanigans, but Wanjiko has to win at the end of the day. Because I must say, budget is the only tool that an MCA, especially elected MCAs, have as far as bargaining is concerned. So you have to make sure that there is something that has been put, not for you, but for your particular ward, because you have to go back to the electorate. So as much as you have talked of the white or the brown envelope, I cannot speak much about it. In Nairobi, we oversight above board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Oversight above board. That is Nairobi for you. So, Nyandarua, as of course the National Treasurer of KYMCA, who is a young member, we did pass, or rather most counties have already put their chief officers in place, and of course the CCs. Part of the last strategic plan was to make sure that it was to lobby for us to make sure these offices are really taken up by the fellow youth. As a person from Nyandarua, are you confident? Can you give an audit that we have done that with this new dispensation?
All right, thank you, Mr. CEO. I think we have made great progress. We have made great progress in terms of youth representation. I can quote my county, the Nyandarua County, amongst the chief officers who were put in office and who we vetted a few months back. We have several. We have a number of young people, and not just the chief officers. We have CCMs members. Like for instance, the youth minister in our county is a lady we used to work with in the political space, a young lady I used to mentor actually. So I can say the representation of young people has really gone up, and it is because of this kind of capacity building and trainings through such workshops that we go through that has empowered youth to be equal to the task in our counties. And also, I'm thinking even when you look at the representation of MCAs, even in our assemblies, I think we have, the numbers have improved. We cannot say, we have seen faith being put on us young people, and I can say that whatever we are doing, the agenda we are pushing of, empowering young people is really working.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And Mheshimiwa from Migori, maybe as KYMCA, and I'll attest that there was the issue of course, attracting the donor community, and you cannot blame them. As a new kid on the block, they must see kwa Kiswahili umejituma, or rather, how do you think we would do things differently to make sure the likes of Hans Siedel keep coming? Of course, CAS and the NDIs and IRIs are also with us. What is different from then and now?
Thank you, CEO. First of all, I already know and I'm convinced that even by the launch of this strategic plan today is already a plus for us as KYMCA, because if you go through the strategic plan, then you will know areas with which external and internal stakeholders can really bring partnership and synergize their efforts for us also to, to realize our functions. Secondly, as Edwin said, I am convicted that one of the things that we need to do, and we have been doing as KYMCA, is to have a conviction and the zeal and the belief in the functions that and the visions that we have as KYMCA. And I believe once we are very faithful to that part, then as Edwin said, money follows conviction, and money follows beliefs as well. And I believe this far, even for us to attract this number of partners and this number of friends, there is something special that they have seen in this organization. I'm very sure leading young Winnie or NDI Mzalendo or even Conrad, I don't know, if we didn't have anything special in us as KYMCA, then probably tonight they won't be here. But because we've packaged ourselves well and we have remained committed to the cause, I believe that we are very much on the right course, and I believe that by the time this strategic plan is expiring 2028, we shall have really achieved much in terms of our vision and mission as an organization. Thank you.
Thank you, and as we are coming to the end, maybe Mheshimiwa from Kakamega, you can tell us how do you effectively, or rather how will we effectively make sure we implement all that is in that good document, and how we keep track, and of course every so often looking that we are still on the right direction.
Thank you. First, as I earlier said in my opening remarks, KYMCA, we are committed. We always make sure that we attend all trainings, all meetings, whether there is a remuneration or not. Two, I'll really plead with our donors that if you want to nurture a tree, then you need to nurture a younger tree. In KYMCA, we are the younger trees. So with time, we will grow into big trees. So we can actually give an undertaking to our donors that we will be committed. We, as KYMCA, we've gone ahead and even we volunteer to just run the organization through some monthly subscription. So that one already shows that we are committed and we want KYMCA to be sustainable. So I'm very sure and I'm very optimistic that KYMCA is the home of young MCAs, and we are destined for greatness. Thank you.
Thank you. Sustainability, very critical. Maybe I would go back to Edwin here. You have dealt with organizations like this and caucuses previously. Maybe from the look of things, it's always good to tell us where can we improve, and especially how can we build and strengthen our capacity as an institution.
Thanks, Chris. Quickly, I would say politics is local. And it is even more fun when young people are politically active. I been with, I think, KMCA for the last 2 years, and I would say I've seen a group of young people who, amidst all these kinds of challenges that we're facing as a country, they feel there's still hope, there's still a small space where a light can pass through. And I think that is important for us to help to open up. And I believe, representing any other donor or any other partner out there, it is important for us to help to open a little bit more that light, right? If it is implementation, if it is sitting down these young members of the county assembly, because it's a through pass, and helping them just to understand, because the capacities even to draw or to draft laws at the county level, it's not as assured as at the national level. There's so much in terms of capacity enhancement, and a lot of people, when you say capacity enhancement, they think it's a cliche. I have interacted and I know it's real. So for us, and I would want to call upon any other partner who's here, we just have to kind of put a lot of pressure. So because if you build movements at this community level, at this lowest level of the society, then you are going to easily multiply the effect, and you're going to see a lot of young people on Twitter, on TikTok, on people starting to question. And the only way governance works and democracy works is when you question, not when foreign organizations like CAS question, when KYMCA questions, when young people have a conviction to join politics and to join caucuses like KYMCA. So I'm not so sure, Chris, if I've answered your question, and I'm sorry if I haven't, but I thought that I cannot miss this point where I say that you've helped to open a very small light, which is very important. Everybody else has to kind of come on board and try to expand this small hole so that then we are able to get more light in. Yeah.
Thank you. And you've really answered, and of course you said one thing, we must ask the question. We did have a conversation, and I think you were with Mheshimiwa Umi and my chairman yesterday on the low turnout or low participation of youth in the previous election. And that makes us worry, because if there's low turnout, it means those questions will not be asked. So we're going to start there, of course, where Mheshimiwa is. This is, of course, a parting shot. You can give a commitment on your part as a whip to make sure that, you know, this the strategic plan is fully implemented. So you can start there, maybe a minute.
Thank you, CEO. We give an undertaking that as KYMCA will be loyal to our strategic plan, and we are open to work with any partner, any donor, any organization for the sake of young MCAs. And I've told you, I'm a direct beneficiary of this program, and I want many more MCAs. We are 940, so I'll also want the 939 to be a beneficiary of the same program, some to be elected, others to be re-elected. So we give our undertaking, and it will be a success.
Thank you, Muhesh. Nilifikiri utatuma salamu. You know it's common with the people.
Salamu ya watu wa Kakamega, watu wa Ingo.
So parting shot from Mheshimiwa from Migori. And we are told as young leaders we are not mentoring. Maybe as you do put your parting shot, you can give a commitment. How many people do you mean to mentor in Kachieng ward in Migori?
Kwanza kabisa natuma salamu kwa dada on a light note. Thank you. I think, Chris, mine is to really motivate ourselves as KYMCA that now we have no reason to stagnate. The strategic plan that has taken us many years and many meetings and many efforts, to come up with, finally, today we are launching it. I'm very sure our partners, our friends, our affiliates, and even our own members as KYMCA, the 490 MCAs are now looking forward to the rubber meeting the road. I urge us to kick the road immediately, get going, get supporting youths in drafting bills and policies that are pro-youth, get synergizing our numbers into bringing up more productive issues concerning the youth on the table. And I'm very sure, I'm very much convicted that by the end of the 5 years that this strategic plan is, we shall have achieved more, unlike the other one that we had a few challenges here and there. I'm looking forward to 100 bills. I'm looking forward to more meetings. I'm looking forward to decentralizing now even these meetings to regional meetings, but now even going up to the ward level. I would really love to host KYMCA members in Kachieng Ward, in Migori County, in Nyanza region, and finally even across the county. So I'm very much convicted that we are headed there in the right direction, and we shall be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mmepata mwaliko Migori, lakini hajatupatia tarehe na ni wapi. So Mheshimiwa Sasha, it is a notion or a myth, I don't know which it is, you'll demystify it now, that when a young lady like you rises, you'll not want to support another lady, or will be the first person fighting the fellow lady. Maybe as you give your parting shot, you can demystify that, and on your part, what you're doing to demystify that myth.
All right, thank you, CEO. I want to demystify that notion, because that's an enemy of progress when it comes to leadership. I think I'm a product of mentorship from women. I know most people in this room are, products of leadership, of women leadership. I personally have mentored young ladies through an organization I founded called the Young Women for Kenya. So there is no, and I can see a member in this room, and I can say through that, that's where the minister from my county came from. And when her name was presented in the assembly, I was the first person to champion for her, because it was such an honor to the young generation, to the young woman, who every time we have to work thrice, twice to match the effort men put, or to match the levels and the steps men do step. So, CEO, I would like to really say confidently in this room, we are not enemies of each other. It is statements as these, we blame men sometimes, that men use that to, disrupt or to maybe put the focus, or I don't know, to obstruct us from focusing.
Divide and rule.
Because once we get there, we do not turn back. And the power of a woman is unmeasured. We can do limitlessly more than you can imagine. On the issue of funding, should I go on?
Yes, you have a half a minute.
All right. As the treasurer of KYMCA, I want to touch on a very sensitive issue that most partners fear or have reservation on, and this is the management of funds. And I can confidently say that for the time that I've been the treasurer and working together with these great NEC members, funds are well accounted for. We work with transparency and accountability, and the issue of brown envelope and eloping with money cannot happen in this organization. If we get more funding, what we will do is increase forums, workshops for capacity building, so that we can reach out to the 940 members, so that 2027, you, our partners, you'll be looking at all the faces and know that you left a print with your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And amesema it is a myth by men. It is actually divide and rule. So, Mheshimiwa, few, and in very few words, you have no choice than to be few like your few words, yeah? Yes. Recently, we did have a good program, courtesy of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, which I know should be here, on young MCs being climate change champions. Maybe, I don't know, you can give your commitment as someone whose word is in a very nice biodiversity, that's Karura Forest, on the measures that you can take for that on your closing.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I must say we have a responsibility to take care of the environment and to also preserve the same. And as KYMCA, we are also given an undertaking that going forward, we have engaged our members across all the county to make sure that in every other county in Kenya, we have the Climate Change Act that will give a framework on how county government can also finance issues to do with climate change back in the counties. As far as Nairobi County is concerned, I'm crafting a bill that will take care of green spaces in Nairobi. You understand this is a capital city, and we do not have so many green spaces. And with the help of the county assembly and the executive, we are putting in place a framework whereby the county can be able to reclaim some of the lands that have been grabbed and put those spaces into green spaces, so that Nairobians can have places where they can visit, and we can have a city that is able to breathe. In the meantime, we only have Karura Forest among other forests that helps this city to breathe. So in KYMCA, we give an undertaking that will make sure that across all the counties, we have a bill that we have an act that looks into climate change across the country. Thank you.
Thank you. And maybe just to give a note, the issue that it's important for the young MCAs, of course, to take charge of the climate change. When it became a talk, most of the MCAs during the last dispensation took it as an elitist kind of a talk. And when in Laikipia, we were starting to see the peak being gray. And when we were young, it was white. And I think there's something called white cap. I don't know whether they got the name from there. We did not understand the happenings. And when people are saying there is snow in Rumuruti or Nyahururu, we thought it was actually a blessing, and it's actually adverse changes. So it's something that KMCA, we are very important on being there at the grassroots, because there's a lot of financing for KMCA, but I mean for climate change, but little knowledge on that. So thank you. And finally, Edwin, maybe as an advice, you can just be the godfather who gives us advice here as a KYMCA, going forward and making sure this strategic plan is a success by the time 2028 comes. Thank you.
Yes, I hope once the strategic plan is launched, you will take, the pages are not very many, and they are done in a very simplistic way, so that then you don't have to read quite a lot. You just need to sample out and get their strategic thinking in terms of where they're going. So please, I would request you go through it. And why I say so, it's because we have a culture in this country, and we had this conversation with Chris, where we launched some of these things, and then once we've launched, we say, we've accomplished. Ours was bigger than the others. I said, this is the start of so many things to do in the next 4 years, right? I need us to reach 900 MCAs and speak with them so that then we can grow them. We can have bipartisan discussions around issues, even when we come from different political parties. We can inculcate the idea of ideology, which is very important. The whole essence of ideology, and I think we would speak this also to the young MCAs, is that you can have a solution. All of you understand the problem, but you have different ways in which this solution resonates with you. And so if it's ODM, you can have a bipartisan, conversation, and I think this has to come also from the members of the young, the young members of the county assembly. But most importantly, this strategic plan, I usually say it's like a budget. It is a plan and a budget. They are laying out where they want to go. We are going to do so many concepts together with them, and so many other partners are here, just to activate each and every component that you think resonates with you and them. And so the next 4 years, we need to see, so if there are acts of county assembly that they are trying to generate, how do they impact on the developments at the county level? How do we spur discussions that helps to make things better? I don't want to sit here and then in the next 4 years, things are just the same. I think if you've been in this country, you realize things are not really okay. Economically speaking, the dollar is at 155, right? The euro is around, the euro is around 155. The dollar is around 137. I'm not so sure because I most of the time operate with the euro because of, now, we need to push the discussions. We need to make sure that the next 4 years, we are talking about things that are going to be helping us. Because for me, I need to see the dollar going down and need to see the shilling coming up. If you want to go, right now, if you want to go and buy anything in the supermarket, it's very expensive. Those are the things that Kenyans want. Whatever legislation, whatever policy, whatever action politically that we are going to be looking at has to start to solve these very small things that count for the people who elected us. And what happens when we are able to make contributions to that? We are going to see senators, you're going to see governors, you're going to see options that people would be saying, we think these options should be emanating from these young members of the county assembly. So whatever small coins that we're working with, for them, we ought to know that at the end of the day, they have to resonate with the common wananchi thinking that things needs to improve. So that is my advice, that whatever we do, you need to know, even for the members of the National Assembly maybe who are here, we need to know that we have a clarion call to serve the people. That is a clarion call. Any other thing is besides the point. Serve the people. If you want to do business, get into business and do business. If you want to represent the people and fight and champion for their rights, do exactly that. And that is what we need to preach as young people.
Thank you, Edwin. So, no rent seeking, go serve the people. Of course, let's appreciate the panel. They've been good hosts. So they can take the seats. Makofi tena kwao. So, of course, we've had the promise of mentorship, the promise of making sure another woman is lifted, and that is a myth. I had wanted the help with this a bit. So I'll steal the whip for a while. Where's the whip? We know we have MCAs in the house, and those are the people we are formed to represent. And I know I would want them to just come here a bit, so that at least they can just say where they come from, and their names and where they come from. And the whip, you take charge of this, please. And of course, Waheshimiwa, please make your way to the podium, or rather to the stage, sorry.
Thank you. Waheshimiwa, kujeni muonekane kwa TV. So honorable members, kindly, I'm the prefect now. Kujeni tu unasema wewe ni fulani, unatoka mahali fulani. Honorable Mercy and your team, kujeni, naona mnajikokota. Mheshimiwa Rebecca. Sio, ukuita wanaume, iko shida.
Good evening. Praise God. My name is Honorable Joy Modhoni Mwangi, nominated MCA in Nairobi County and also Vice Chair of Women Caucus under Nairobi County. Thank you, and I'm pleased to be part of KYMCA.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diana Katile, nominated MCA Nairobi County Assembly, and I also serve in the Speakers Panel of the Nairobi County Assembly. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Regina Kizito, nominated MCA, Kisumu County. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Evelyn Tirop from Wasingishu County. I'm a nominated MCA. I'm a coordinator, and also I'm a vice chair trade committee.
Good evening to you all. My name is Rebecca Nyaroi Kiai. I'm from Kiambu County, nominated by UDA party, and I'm happy to be here and to see all of you here, and thank you for honoring our invitation.
Hi everyone, Mary Kichuku is my name, the youngest member of County Assembly from the county Machakos. Thank you so much.
Good evening everyone, happy to see all of you, faces that are familiar and faces that I'm yet to meet. Mercy Seraphine Wanyonyi from Busia County, the county that brought the finance bill to us still. I was nominated in the party of Senator Omtata. Thank you.
Thank you, Waheshimiwa. You can resume your seat. Thank you. This is just a representation of the 940. Then we also have our alumni, former MCAs. Nimeona Mheshimiwa, where is she? Mheshimiwa Joy, umesahau ulikuwa. Kindly, quickly.
Good evening. I'm Honorable Jaili Sanjage. I'm a former member of County Assembly. And that's why I didn't come up when he first said it. But apparently we still remain members. And it's my pleasure to be here today. And the reason I'm here actually is I'm very grateful for all our partners. I think each of these organizations and many others that have not been mentioned have been a very big part of my life and have put me to where I am today. So I'm very grateful and honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been reminded by Mheshimiwa from Wasinigishu that you are all welcome to the Devolution Conference. Umesema nisema hivyo? Devolution Conference Monday from Sunday in Wasinigishu. Sawa. Thank you.
Asante. Makofi ya whip. So if your MCA or if your county was not mentioned here, you look for that MCA and ask them why, because we invited all of them. So of course the team I work with in their office, and where are they? Please just come here. You know they're not politicians, so they'll barely take a minute. Yes, come here please. Wapige makofi. You know hawajapenda podium. And you know the applications were open. I don't know why the men were afraid of this job. We can start here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ruth Bolo is my name, Head of Programs.
Good evening, Ruth Modoni, Finance and Administration. Very nice to see you all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Ambundo, under the Programs Department.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Muita Franco Kimune. I'm the Social Media Manager. Thank you.
Makofi. Frankie was the only one confident enough for the application. He's the one we got, but Makofi ko tena. Also to recognize is the Office of County Assemblies Forum. The Secretariat is here. Of course, I can see Austin. From where you are, maybe you can wait for them. No, just stand up, they see, because before we are members of KYMCA, we are all members of County Assemblies Forum. So that is Austin. Mkono kwao. The patron of KYMCA is none other than the Speaker of the Senate. So I can see also the people who work in his good office. There, Madeline is there. Maybe you can just write up so they can see you. Thank you. So I'll take it back to our lovely MC to just take us to and make us stretch. I know maybe you've seated down for a bit longer. Karibu. Thank you.
Sio hata ungenisalimia kwa mkono, at least nihisi vizuri. Asante Bwana CEO. Asante sana. Lakini sijui kwa nini umeenda, lakini nilikuwa naomba uite watu kadhaa, our sponsors, before ukae chini. CEO, ningependa unisaidie kuita hawa kwa sababu mimi sina ruhusa ya kuwaita. Yes.
Nilitaka wachangamshe kidogo so that we call them. Hawa wanaweza dance. Usione suti na nini, ukiwapatia ngoma wata dance.
DJ, situfanye hivyo. Ile yenye tulifanya last year Dubai. Vile tulifanya last year Dubai, ndio tuifanye huku Kenya. I'm hoping that this time tukiekewa ngoma kidogo tuna dance, ndio? Right? Tumekaa chini sana. Tumelewana, angalau tu dance kidogo, tujuane, tuache kunyamaza. Pia unajua tukinyamaza kuna ile harufu kidogo inatoka kwa mdomo. Imagine. Imagine. Atuende nalo. Haya. Hakuna mwenye anaweza nisaidia kidogo tu. Imeza naona tukoona rebot sana. Tunaweza simama kidogo tu. Asante. Alafu hii meza pia kidogo tusimame. Kidogo tu. Hakuna mwenye anajuanga kudance. Tunaenda tuna beat. Ai. Jamani, young MCAs, waheshimiwa, kidogo Tusimame tu. Kidogo tudengue kidogo mauno kidogo. Pole tafadhali, lakini hapa imeza kidogo tu dance. It's okay. Waheshimiwa, tu dance kidogo. Asante. Tuna dance tukiulizana majina. To dance. Kidogo tu. Mguu inauma. Ndio tukistretch itakuwa sawa. It's okay, understand. Tunafanya kazi nzuri.
Right. DJ shikilia tu kidogo, shikilia dakika moja. I know you're having fun. Now, I'm a get crusher by the way. Nilijua kuna event up get crash through the MC Masikidiwa. I want us to do this dance kidogo. Everyone be upstanding, tafadhali. Mikono miwili juu, mikono miwili juu. Kwa mabega, kwa kiuno, ruka mbele, ruka nyuma, turn left. DJ, I want you to put Oskido on standby. Sawa sawa. Mikono miwili juu tena, kwa mabega, kwa kiuno, ruka mbele, ruka nyuma, turn left. Are we good? DJ, if you're ready with Oskido, now muniangalie. DJ, fanya vile tulifanya tukiwa Paris. Tulikuwa na Paris. DJ, finya tu parliament iko play kando ya pause. Ni arrow hivi. We do this. Lakini, are you good? Are you enjoying? Are you enjoying? All right. DJ, are you ready? Are you? You know, let me tell you one thing. I love your suits. You guys are nicely dressed. Mheshimiwa, napenda sana suti. Madam, napenda sana designer. Nice one. Hey, you looking fantamagorgeous. Nice one. Everyone here looks amazing. DJ, when you're ready, I'm ready. No. When you're ready with the other one. When you're ready with the other one. Haya, weka tu ngoma. Endelea kudance nikisaidia DJ kutafuta hiyo ngoma.
Nikiwa
right, DJ ameipata. All right. Nice one. Mnakumbuka vile tulifanya? Haya. DJ, when you're ready. I am committed to, let's go. Haya, twende, juu. Bego. Kiro. Ruka, ta. Twende juu. Mabega. Kiro. Ruka, ta. Twende juu. Nice one. Nice one. Naona wanasiasa waheshimiwa wanafanya vizuri sana. Nawapenda. Nice one. Naangalia watu wanafanya vibaya. Lovely. Nice one. Haya. DJ, for the sake of Rastaman here, come to. DJ, twende Jamaica. Kila mtu hapo. DJ, twende kazi. DJ, where are we? Reggae fans wako wapi? Twende hapa. Hapa tu. Hapo. Watu wa nini? All right, one Kenya, one love. That's the one. Twende. Chant Babylon of war.
Hurt all mankind, just save his own, believe me. One love.
It's in. Hey.
What about let's get together and feel alright.
Nice one. One love Kenya, one love tupendane. Haya twende na King Love, King Zion, twende. Hii ni ya mwisho. Aha. Naona watu wanapenda bangi hapa. Naona waheshimiwa wanajifanya hapa wa dance. Na waona sana. Okay. Thank you. Bossy, take over.
Chabini nimejua reggae. Hey. Yeah, DJ, asante DJ. Asante. Na vile nilikuwa nimeona wasichana wakiingia pa warembo walikuwa na zile baby girl looks. Kumbe mnaweza ruka. Mmeangusha baby girl looks, It's okay. Anyway, back to business. I would love to acknowledge the presence of our guest speaker, Honorable Omher Harun. Makofi kwake penye yuko. Kama anaweza tusimama tu tumuone ama title baadaye. Thank you, ma. God bless you. I would love to acknowledge the presence of a national chair, Honorable Hussein Dagani. Thank you, sir. And then tuko na Senator Sigei. Yuko wapi? Mheshimiwa. Tupige makofi bwana. Tukisema senator tunapiga makofi, si ndio? Mheshimiwa, naomba nikusalimie ndio nikianza hii jani ya politics nitafika mbali. Amen. God bless you. Thank you, sir. Masikidiwa. Thank you. Sasa hii ndio saa ambaye muda ambaye tunaregesha CEO wetu tena kwenye jukwaa aendelee na kazi kidogo. Karibu bwana CEO.
Thank you. Also, maybe it's good to note we have also our good friend from the Indian High Commission. We had extended an invite because they are really doing a lot on issues of culture and trade. That is Edwin Madegwa. Where are you seated? Thank you. He advises the High Commissioner from India on aspects of trade. Also, we have in our presence the chair, Nakuru County, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, representing that industry, Mheshimiwa Said. Makofi. And I will continue recognizing as we go on. So the next part is basically the people who have really held us. And I know I would want to ambush a brother. And I see him as a brother because back in 2013, after we had lost the elections, we did not know where to go. And he told us, you need to go to the political incubation. And what was that? The political party youth leagues. So we went back to our political party youth leagues. Me and Boluma, we were in NAC. And there was another friend of ours called Gideon Keter. And of course, he went to URP and the story goes on. This is none other than Ndugu Franklin Mukwanja. Let's welcome him. He's the CEO of the Center for Multi-Party and Democracy. Pole kwa the ambush, but hatuwezi kukuona na ukose kusalimiana. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Chris, the chief guest, honorable members of parliament, honorable MCS, colleagues in the sector, friends, good evening. Sorry, I am trembling a little bit because my energy levels have gone down a bit. It is time for that thing, so I will be dashing to enjoy it shortly after. But I want to really say to KYMCA, congratulations for a good job. But remember, culture, it's strategy for breakfast. So in as much as you have very nice things in black and white, please make sure that you shift around things so that you can be able to deliver on this very important strategy. Some of those things that my young sister Omaya is mentioning, it becomes very difficult because politicians are spoiled with very good allowances. And it becomes very difficult to work with you gentlemen and ladies when the organizations have to match that. So if you're committing to availing yourself, availing time, and my younger brother who comes from just the next ward in my home county, please commit yourself to delivering these things. Number two, this country needs to be much better organized, post-2010 constitution, increasing opportunities in building these movements, in making sure that leaders across the aisle are talking to each other, supporting dialogue, and you can be sure what my brother Osodo said, I will be supporting that process of having the MCS to come to Migori, so that we can be able to continue this conversation. It's important that leaders continue talking to each other. We have a very good program of working with young people in the counties, so please feel free, knock on our doors and we'll be able to do that. Edwin mentioned about ideology. As you continue to work on the legislation, can we see ideology speaking through this? We do not want bills looking like the same, like the way you asked us to wear blue today, and we all came in different shades of blue. But you can see that it's blue, but at the same time it's different. So we want to see you espousing ideology through the various legislative proposals that you'll be having. And of course, finally, you are the breadth and width of devolution. If you guys mean it, then we will see that devolution is strengthened. For me, and on behalf of the political parties that you come from, and the organization, the Center for Multi-Party Democracy, I want to thank you and also really appreciate colleagues from various organizations that have made this to happen. I remember The first time we talked, you come to at my desk and you were going to Mombasa and something had happened. And we had to look around for some resources to make sure that you continue the conversation. So thank you so much. Please allow me to dash somewhere. I have a speaking engagement tomorrow somewhere, and I need to really dash and be in Mombasa tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, and please enjoy your event, and congratulations.
Makofi kwa ndugu Mukwanja. Yes, Ukraine happened and we had a program in Mombasa and donors called last minute saying money from our countries have to be diverted to support Ukraine. So we were at a stalemate because the MCA is already on their ways to Mombasa and the check to pay that hotel Mombasa was not forthcoming. I had to harass an old brother and I said, mimi ni ndugu yako. Venye utafanya lazima tuende kwa mkutano. So makofi kwake tena. Now, of course, I'll also call a sister who's been here. The organization were the first people to put monies in our organization when we were starting, and it was a big risk because putting donor money in something that has never been tried is not something easy. And that was back in 2018. They did the first finances for us to put our structures together. So I know I'll just give her a minute. She's a polite lady, but that she breathes the fire when she has to. So let's welcome Birono. The B would mean Benedictus Rono from NDI. Asante sana. Makofi akipanda stairs pia ni muhimu.
Good evening. I've been ambushed. So KYMCA, fondly referred to as my children in the office. So they walk in, everybody's like, your children are here. I think I've seen a lot of commitment from these young members of county assemblies. I'm very proud of you. I saw you spend your resources to register this caucus. Spend your time coming to Nairobi to register the caucus. There are times we didn't even have resources, but you spent your own money. So for me, sitting here, just listening to everything that is being said, launching a second, this is the second strategic plan, I'm very proud. If I am the mother, I think Buluma is the father. You will not deny this. But we helped register, or rather, we held the hands of KYMCA together with Buluma, so I cannot forget to acknowledge the role that he played. So I'm very happy. We'll continue supporting you. I think I'm the biggest supporter of this caucus. Currently, we don't have an existing program with young members of county assemblies, but we continue engaging. I think there's a lot of people are here because I was like, you have to come. You have to come because I've seen this group grow. Please, the people who are here who can support KYMCA, continue doing this. During COVID, we had very many online engagements. These people, I think the last engagement were ending at 11 p.m. and people didn't even want to go. We passed a lot of, the members passed a lot of motions. They supported a lot of motions in the counties. We saw a lot of results. And for me, I'll continue cheering you on, wishing you the best. And we hope that you continue engaging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Birono, and also thank you to the NDI family. So next is also one of our partners, of course, that is Mlazendo Trust, headed by Madam Caroline Gaita. I call her Madam and she says, Chris, surely. Just call me Miss Caroline or just Caroline. But, you know, it's the formality and the way she's trained us. We see her as a bigger sister. So we'll welcome her, of course, to give her remarks. And she's part of the reason also that this event today is successful. She's given us funding. Of course, have been ambushing her also for the funding on things that are not in their place, but there's always trying to find a way of helping us within their law and their jurisdiction. So thank you for that, and we welcome you here for a few remarks. Karibu sana, makofi kwake. And she's actually my sister. So ukiona yellow, unaelewa. Karibu.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris Mark. Thank you, KYMCA fraternity. Thank you, Representative Senator Sigei. Good to see you, Chairman Hussein. Good. Thank you for having us. I want to stand on the established protocol and just say a few things. But before I make my formal remarks, allow me to just reflect a little bit. When we went to the first elections under the new constitution, that was 2013, I was working for the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, Nyachai's Commission as we called it. And as you know, we were the people that, had the responsibility to birth these new offices that had been created and to see how they would take shape. And a year later, in 2014, we undertook a study from steps to strides. And I was taking a look at it to see what we said about county assemblies. And I have to say it was just a paragraph. There wasn't much to say at that time, because when devolution happened in 2013, a lot of focus was given on governors, on county executives, and very little attention was given to county assemblies. So for me to be standing here a decade of devolution later and to see the growth that county assemblies have really made, it fills me with pride, and I'm really proud to be associated. So congratulations, young MCAs, and also congratulations to the County Assemblies Forum, because really this is great work that you have done. So allow me to say a few things about KYMCA. Like partners before me have said, I first met KYMCA through KYPA. KYPA is a key partner of Mzalendo Trust. For those that have not engaged with Mzalendo Trust, we are the organization that keeps an eye on Parliament. And part of doing this is, amongst many other things, is of course keeping track of legislative processes. And also a key program on the inclusion of the young and women, as we call it. And so courtesy of that, we've been working very closely with the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association and KEWOPA as well. And so it's in that regard, through the Leading Young program, that I met Chris Mark, and we began having a conversation about what the support to KYPA would look like if it was cascaded down to the county assemblies. As luck would have it as well, in 2021, we launched our new strategic plan. It's our current 5-year strategic plan. And out of many calls that had come from citizens, from development partners, there was a conscious decision to move beyond national attention to also begin to look at counties. And so the alignment with KYMCA then was not so far removed. So we've had a number of engagements together, including in the development of this strategic plan. We've been able to support, I think, 1 or 2 of the regional meetings that they have held to come up with this. Beyond that, also, we've really engaged in terms of national interests legislation before the elections 2022, just seeing how we would encourage the number of young people. And again, looking at that study, I was looking at the number of young MCAs in 2013, and it's really fulfilling to see that those numbers have almost doubled. If I look at that CIC report and I look at the numbers now, the number of young MCAs elected into office has almost doubled. And that means you're doing something right, that people have increased confidence in you. As you launch your strategic plan this evening, I don't think it would have come at a better time. The country is marking 10 years of devolution, and this puts you center stage to really define what the next phase of devolution looks like. In the next decade, you must be the champions for the citizens. And we always say that counties and by extension county assemblies are really the people's representatives at the lowest proximity. You speak to people, you speak to the women in the market, you speak to the sanitation, you speak to the agriculture, you speak to the health. A lot of the work that you do determines, it's almost life and death. You are the people who decide whether there are resources that have been set aside for health, for early childhood education, for agriculture, for sanitation, and amongst many other, including those that touch on the morals, including betting of the society. So you're really at the forefront of protecting the Constitution. And so as you develop this strategic plan, I would want to urge you as members of county assemblies to really look at the role you play from a very holistic and bigger picture, and to recognize that if the fruits of devolution, the self-governance that is espoused in the principles of devolution is to be realized, then that back really rests at your table. You are the people that have to make sure that the budgets are allocated, that there's transparency and accountability, that you are overtaking your oversight role very well to make sure that county executives are doing the work that they need to do. And so as you move forward and as you begin the implementation of this strategic plan, mine is to commit Mzalendo's commitment to working with you, to working with you under our Power of Dialogue project that is supported also by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy, and the country director, Ronnie, is here. We are committed to supporting the young and the women. We are one speaker earlier talked about capacity enhancement. We remain committed to this, but we are also committed to ensuring that legislative development at county level also goes a notch higher. And so we will work with you in that area. The other thing I also want to mention is that as part of opening up government, county assemblies have a key role to ensure that there's transparency and accountability, not just on budgets, but also on vetting. And so even as we look at the Senate at the national level to enhance this oversight, ensure that they are protecting counties, you are the primary providers of this oversight. You're the primary demand source for transparency and accountability. And so we are committed to working with you through the Open Government Program, through OGP Local, to ensure that we put these systems in place. The last thing I would want to say is that looking at your values, I was reading these values, and I have to say that they align very well with our, if you look at our strategic plan, I think with the exception of unity of purpose, which was not deliberate that we left it out. Perhaps your unity of purpose means something different that we don't have. But all the other values, if you look at our strategy, are fully aligned. And that means that we are speaking to the same cause, we are working for the same people, and we are patriotic. So as Mzalendo Trust, we congratulate you. We will walk with you on this journey, and we pray and hope that, as someone has said, this is not another report that's put on the shelf. This is not another report that 5 years later when we come here, we look and wonder what it is that you had promised us. We want to see the results. And even as you said, for some of you, these are stepping stones. When you step over to the other house, we shall also be waiting for you to make sure that you're serving the citizens in the manner that you promised. So congratulations once again, Chairman Hussein and the team, Chris, and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mzalendo. And I think it was a report that was launched yesterday. You can access it because I know it's online to see how your MPs, senators are performing. We hope to do such a similar partnership and cascade it to the county so that we can also see how our MCs are performing. So just to recognize Director Chege, who's from the Ministry of Youth. Maybe you can just wave for them and stand up, they can see you. Who's also a critical partner. We have Juliet representing the Youth Council, also a very key partner in our youth engagements. We do have Kewopa in the house, who are the young members there. The CEO, Mercy, is here. Maybe you can wave for us. Thank you. We do have Imelda, who's the CEO of the Parliamentarian Climate Change Caucus. And SDG, and okay, she will tell us more, but wave for them so they can see you in the house at least. We have Ndugu Maingi also representing KYMCA, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and of course, Trademark East Africa. Wasalimi wajua uko hapa. I know our sister from the Leading Young program that you saw here, Winnie is here. Winnie, maybe you can just wave and tell them about the program later on. Youth Alive Kenya, represented of course by the CEO Dennis Mungo, is here. Asante, karibu. And we appreciate all of you. And of course, our coordinator from Kajiado County, Mheshimiwa Louis. When I was calling MCAs in the front, he ran away, but we appreciate of him. So I'll go to our next partner, who's the Conrad Adenoid, Of course, you had them say their commitment from the pre-review of the previous one until the formation of this. They've also been taken a critical role. So we'll welcome Edwin to the front here, so that at least he can say a bit or so and maybe visualize how we are going to work together in the coming years. Makofi kwa Edwin. I'm sorry I've been bringing you too much here. You may start having ideas of becoming a politician. Karibu.
Thanks, Chris. I think I had not planned to talk too much today, but of course, you say that you have to, when you work with politicians, you have to behave like one, right? And so when it calls for me to behave like one, of course I do that. Again, it's a beautiful thing for me to see KYMCA launching their strategic plan. Quite a lot of work ahead. We are making a commitment as an organization, Chris, and the rest of the members of the County Assembly that are here, that we are going to hold your hands. We don't promise a lot of goodies in terms of financial resources, right? But we promise ourselves to be in there. We promise our partners, the young in CDU, to also visit and exchange hands if we get opportunities where we could, expose you. We are going to do that because I believe exposure is very important. At times, when you get out there, is when you realize actually you have a problem. And at times it's hard to sort out problems in our community when they are closed up. I don't know if you've seen that. But when you get exposed is when you realize, Kumbe I've been living not in the best way or in the best format that I would like. And I think we are going to be doing quite a lot of that. Again, as I close this, I want to say that mentorship is very important. This is just a path. After 5 years, after 10 years, you're going to find yourself beyond being a young person, and you're going to be making more contributions. So I think mentoring the young and those who are trying to show potential also is very important. Reaching out, of course, beyond the 900 or 1,000 members that you have is very important. And like I said, and this is what and this is unfortunately or fortunately what we bear as an organization. We say this. Young people are the center of this. A decision that is made by a 60 or 70-year-old guy affects the young people now, right? And so this meeting is very important because it is a decision, it is a culmination of the decision of the young people right now that ought to shape the future tomorrow. So that then you don't have very old folks coming and saying, in the next 10 years, this is what we are planning for the country. We would want as many young people coming out to say this is what we're planning for the country. And it needs a lot of mentorship. It needs a lot of holding hands. And I believe not only CAS, but I believe so many other partners are willing to do that. So let us walk this journey together. 4 years is not going to be a joke. Where we can, we are going to help. Where we can't, we are going to make referrals. But we are going to stick with you. The thing that I want to wind up this small talk or small speech on behalf of Condon is to help us reflect our politics, our political culture. I've been fortunate enough to visit these other countries, and it's good to always benchmark with the best. I'm not saying the other Western worlds are not the best countries, but I would benchmark with Germany, and I would say this: their politics is based on ideology, and they differ strictly on ideologies, and that is how they build their systems, and that is how they are able to get to where they are. Our politics needs to move beyond, and if it cannot move through us, beyond just ethnic and getting numbers and arrangements, and just infusing that with some realities that we need to sort out some problems, then I'm telling you, I have seen videos of Nigeria and Rwanda, and I don't like them. I don't want to see ourselves there, where everybody just lost hope. And in my community in Kisumu, where I come from, I'm getting, at least in a day, I get 3-4 calls, and people are asking for help. And I think this is messages to all of you. And that call is basically a call that shouts to, we need a better way of running this country. And we need to be involved in running this country. The other day you saw on the news about, in Eldoret, about this very young girl who had the guts to call out. We need to have the guts as elected members to call out when there's a problem, call this problem out. I don't know if you're getting my point. You're more empowered and you're on a position of privilege to do that. So it's not about legislation alone that we want to walk through this journey with you. It's also about checks and balances. When there are things that are not making sense, let us be the voice of reason. And if that happens, I assure you, based on my capacity as any other Kenyan, that I will try my level best to make sure that I'm part of that group that walks, or that movement that walks the talk. So on behalf of the organization, I want to say thanks, and looking forward to seeing how that strategic plan will be looking like. Asanteni.
Thank you. Thank you once again. Makofi kwake. Also to recognize in the house is the Oslo Center, of course represented by my sister Phoebe, and I know she'll be wanting to choke me after this. Simama tu mahali uko utusalimie. Phoebe is really passionate on the women program, so those ones who would want, especially the MCs, msalimie wakati ya dinner. Also kuna ndugu Ronaldo Juang here from the Netherlands Institute of Multiparty and Democracy. He's a country representative. Karibu. Next is the HSF, who, okay, I'll repeat again, and you can see whether the whole team will do it. Next is the HSF. We are very grateful. Of course, the country director was to be with us here. He's been really supportive from the website, also, of course, to other aspects of making sure the strategic plan is done well, to supporting our regional meetings, our economic forums, and the list is a lot. So let's welcome Damaris, who will, of course, give the remarks and also tell us whether we have used the donor money prudently. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, KYMCA, for having us here today. All protocols observed, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Like you heard, I'm Damaris Karaoke. I come from the Hans Seidel Foundation. It's good that we actually came after CAS. So CAS is our sister, we say sister foundation, because also Hans Seidel Foundation is a German political foundation, though formed from a different political party, that's the CSU. And here we work towards the spirit of democracy, same principles that CAS would follow or any other political foundation. And in Kenya, we carry most of our work through partnerships, such as organizations such as KYMCA. And after hearing the reflections, it looks like HSF was the last one in. But we are very happy to finally be here. And given our interests align, it was a great honor. I mean, we really didn't need much convincing to support KYMCA. They came, they knocked, said a few words, and we said, we are ready, here's some money, let's do the thing. So first off, we'd like to greatly appreciate the intentional efforts made by KYMCA, its staff, its leadership, its NEC, to ensure that the process of developing this strategic plan was highly participatory, inclusive, and representative. I saw with my own eyes KYMCA going out across all 9 regions to collect the views, the hopes, the desires of its membership. And I think that is something we need to be very proud of, right? And that shows what the spirit of KYMCA is, that it believes on bottom, see layer UDA, see bottom up here UDA, but in the spirit of participatory politics. And that is what devolution is about, right? So having, like I said, having been there, we've seen, or I've personally seen, that first of all, this strategic plan is very proactive. Like the cast representative said, it's very clear, it's very articulate, it's not a huge document. It's actually something we can even read during entertainment and get the breadth of it. And that is something that we truly do admire, and it's one of the things that said, if KYMCA can put its intentions in a very simple document, it means they're serious, they mean business. Secondly, the plan is quite collaborative. This room is filled by the spirit of KYMCA's collaboration. We have donors from development partners, we have partners from government, other state actors, and we have even the electorate. We have common citizens represented in this room. And I believe that's something we need to commend and aspire to. And it shows how KYMCA can be different and needs our support. Therefore, for us as HSF, this plan is our compass in as far as where do you want HSF to support you, both financially, as friends, as holding your hands, as holistic as it can be. And with those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it is HSF's pleasure to be a part of today's celebration as KYMCA launches its strategic plan. Like Chris said, our resident representative, Daniel Seiberling, would have loved to be here, but unfortunately he's not around. But he does send his warm wishes to KYMCA and everyone in the room and say that let's all hold KYMCA's hands. Congratulations, KYMCA, and HSF commits to continued partnership over the next 5 years on the duration of this strategic plan. Thank you, and wishing you a lovely evening ahead.
Thank you, Damaris. The HSF, when we were moving offices, we had an issue with the tenancy lease, and we were squatters for almost 2 months. You know, she noticed that, and they gave us a room to work at, I think it's just behind Sarit Center, I keep for Peponi Road. Yeah, so they hosted us for 2 months and or even more, and they made sure every morning we had the mandazis and samosas, which are very fresh, but that was not the inspiration to go to the office. So, of course, with that said, we are very grateful. Asante na makofi tena kwa HSF. Najua chakula imebakia kidogo, iko tayari, ni spice inaweko ndio tuende. So we are intentionally delaying so the food can be ready, but mtafurahia. So next, tuweke mikono pamoja, tumwalike the next speaker, who is our national chair for the Kenya Young Members of County Assembly. That is none other than Honorable Hussein Dagane, Garissa Township MCA. Huyu alikuwa nominated na mimi 2017, akaniambia Chris, I will not be nominated again. That was a stepping stone, akachaguliwa. Makofi kwake tena. Karibu Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good evening. I am Hussein Mohammed, as mentioned. Before anything, I am a humble servant of people of Garissa Town. I'm also the leader of my rotary in Garissa County Assembly. I am also the national chairperson. I always start with a humble national chairperson of 940 MCAs in the country. I always tell Buluma, KYPA, how many are you? You know, he says 40. But you know, when I say, I don't want to say with a lot of bravado, because his serikali is here chest thumping, with a lot of humility, respect, and everything. And as a chairperson, one of the challenges of becoming a chairperson is that I cannot freestyle like the honorable members. I have to read the piece of the caucus. Sometimes nauliza swali, kuniweka chairman ilikuwa ni trap ama ilikuwa ni favor. But anyways, I'll go ahead and read the piece of the caucus. And I extend, first of all, my gracious welcome to each and every of you here gathered here to mark the significant milestone in the journey of progress and innovation. Our combined efforts to make the positive impact on KYMCA stands as a radiant thread. Registered in 2018, KYMCA is a testament to unwavering determination of young elected and nominated MCAs under the age of 35. We're united by a shared vision that transcends the present and aspires the future of marked prosperity, inclusivity, boundless opportunities for our nation. Through the synergy of collaboration, we join the hands with the esteemed partners such as Hans Sendel Siftang and Conrad Adenauer Siftang and Mzalendo Trust Kenya. Together, we are on a journey of change, driven by our strong commitment to advocate pro-youth legislation policies. Today, we are revealing the result of our hard work and unwavering commitment, our strategic plan. This launch signifies juncture where, as Kenyan young members of County Assembly, have reviewed refined and recalibrated our course with a keen focus of steering counties towards more youth-centric agenda. Recognize the urgent need to incorporate gender-sensitive architecture into our strategy, ensuring that the efforts to address climate change are inclusive and consider the diverse experience and perspectives of all individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, to our esteemed partners and esteemed guests, your presence is a testament to the pillar of strength that uphold Kenyans members of County Assembly's ambition. Your unwavering support has infused our journey with a purpose and resolve, inspiring to reach a pivotal moment. With this immense gratitude and anticipation, I warmly welcome you all for gracing us with your presence here today for the launch of our strategic plan. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much. Before I leave, I have a task to do to invite the few speakers left today. The next speaker will be a beauty and a brain for my county. I am a proud person. Sijasema hata jina. A beauty and brain for my county and our representation. As Article 55B suggests that the youth of this country must be represented in social, political, and other spheres of life in the 13th Parliament. Let's welcome Honorable Omoker Harun. Makofi tafadhali.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. My name is Umi Harun. The long name is Umul Khair, so we'll work with Umi for now. In Arabic, it means mother of goodness, so I hope I bring goodness wherever I go. I currently serve as a member of parliament representing the youth from the great ODM party. Thank you. I also serve as a KYMCA executive member, representing the youth as well. And I also sit at the ICT committee and the Constitution Oversight Committee. So in brief, that's what I do, but I come from Garissa County, like my colleague has said, and we've been in the trenches with Hussein for long, and Chris Mark when they were both nominated as MCAs, and we used to do a lot of work together in Garissa. And at that time, he was my boss. I don't know who's boss now. But I remember one of the works that we did was developing the Youth Revolving Fund for Garissa County. I think Garissa was the only county that actually did that. And mentorship, you know, sometimes works in a very interesting way. I was learning from him. I would, you know, he would even organize for us to have meetings in the boardrooms of the county assembly. So I went to the county assembly numerous times without being a member, because at that time I was serving as a grassroots civil society leader. I ran an NGO that deals with peace, security, especially, and youth matters. And seeing the journey that, you know, they have gone through together with Chris, and now here I said, as much as I'm in parliament, it doesn't mean I can't work with the MCAs, because leadership, you know, does not work in a vacuum. You have to work with people. So I'm very inspired by the work that KYMCA is doing, and I hope we continue to work together, inshallah. And I think this continues to show the importance of grassroots, especially because a lot of times so much focus is put on members of parliament, but we forget the people who are actually down in the grassroots. A lot of the works that we do up here is talk, but the action happens in the grassroots. And I think that's why such a body is very important, because I'm thinking of one of the projects I'm working on through my office with the Kenya Coalition for Youth Peace Security. We formed a coalition that has a membership of 300 civil society organizations in Kenya. And I thought this is important because I come from a place that has really been threatened by security. And sometimes it's not about the absence of war, but the numerous issues that we have as young people. So part of the things I decided to do when I got into office was at least come up with a national action plan for YPS. And I think KYMCA would be strategically placed to work with us. We are currently getting support from Finland And the UNDP is also committed to support us, and many other organizations. So when I look at KYMCA, I think this is something that we can do together, because already we have the support through our caucus as Kenya Young Parliamentarians. And these are things that I think we can continuously work together. The coalition, like I said, is all about creating opportunities for young people. So you can have a look. I think they're on social media, and we are just starting. We are just in the introduction stage, but we should be able to go to the 47 counties in the next coming months. One of the things I also think we can have KYMCA do, recently as KYPA, we had members, young members coming to Bunge. And that is a very crucial thing for me, because in 2018, KYPA invited me to attend the International Youth Day in Parliament. And I think it's something I realized a bit later when I saw the photo that I took in Bunge in 2018. I was just 22 years old, but very hopeful. And I sat at the same seat I sit today. I didn't even know. It was just a coincidence, and I realized last week when we were doing the event, I was in Garissa, I couldn't join, but I looked at the photos, and there's a specific place I like to sit in Parliament, somewhere right behind, the minority leader, so that when he talks, you can see me there. And I sat right there even in 2018. So at that time, if someone told me I would transition to Parliament at the age of 26 when I came into office, I wouldn't believe it. But it has been a continuous struggle, and I think from my journey, the thing I like to inspire young people is aggressively take that position, put yourself in that position. When I see my colleague Mercy, we were with her in Miss President. Out of 700 applicants who are really fighting to be presidents, but on TV. And it was a very incredible process that we went through. Today, she's in the county assembly. I'm in Parliament. We have, my colleague who's also in Parliament. We have other young MCAs. So that continues to show you that as young people, we don't lack, we are not lacking in effort, but we are lacking in the continued belief and support that we need. And that's the same thing I reiterated today when I was speaking on International Youth Day. I said, as a country, what exactly are we doing? Are we investing in young people, or are we just using young people as blueprints, where then at the end of the notes you're like, okay, yeah, let's include young people. And who are the young people also that we're including? Because different young people have different inspirations to join leadership. And we can even see in the kind of calibers that we send to Parliament. It's 1 year now since we're in office, and I keep telling the young people I represent, I hope I'm really doing a good job, because it's not about just being in Parliament today, but I'm also thinking, as a Muslim, someday when I'm dead, one of the questions I'll be asked is, you're responsible for the people. What have you done for them? So those are the things I have to keep putting at the back of my head to continue doing the good work that we can do. And for me, I draw a lot of inspiration from donors and partners, and a lot of familiar faces I know here, some who've held my hand, some who will continue to work together. In summary, one of the works that I'm also doing, currently sponsoring 2 bills. Okay, I'm sponsoring 4, but 2 are almost coming to the floor. One is the Kenya Sign Language Bill, which is to include the deaf community. In Kenya, the Constitution recognizes English, Swahili, and sign language. But rarely do we teach sign language in schools. And if I look at the room today, I don't see a deaf interpreter. So that's the gap that we are looking at. If we are able to easily sign, we don't need interpreters. Exactly how do we include deaf in our society? So my bill is to make it compulsory to teach deaf sign language in schools, and to also create the Sign Language Council, just like we have the Swahili Council, so that we can bridge that gap. And my second bill is to amend the county action plan to at least include the young people in the county public service boards, because I think if the recruitment bodies are not having young people on the table, then even when opportunities in counties come, we don't get it. And I know how hard it is for young people to actually break through. So for KYMCA, the message I'll tell you is, the exact thing we did as KYPA, inviting young people to Bunge, please invite even the young people at the grassroots to come to Parliament. And I'll say this so that donors can also put in more money to do these activities. That's one way to inspire young people. I can see even some of my community members from Garissa in the room, and we are always keeping in touch. But the inspiration will only come from the good work that we do. If as young members of Parliament, young members of county assemblies, we get these opportunities to, make quick money and quick, richness and wealth, then we are not serving as good leaders. For me, I really don't care about money. I always tell myself it's about the work that I do, because that's the only way we can inspire young people. If we, the leaders who are in office, are stealing the public funds, then even the young people who come into office will not be inspired for the right reasons. So with those very long few remarks, I think I will hand this over to Hussein. Thank you so much.
Makofi tena kwa mheshimiwa. She also forgot to mention she sits in the KYMCA advisory board, which actually reminds me, we had 2 positions left. One was taken by National Assembly. The other one must go to Senate, because by provision, by the Constitution, we have relations by mandate. So we wanted to put the question for Honorable Sigay, for the Honorable members who are here, for Honorable Sigay to be nominated to sit in the KYMCA advisory board. With as many of the same opinions, say aye. Those of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I think now dinner is turning breakfast, but it only depends on how we will come our guest of honor, or Senator Wetu, Wakili, or Bosige. I want to call Madam MC. You come and help me welcome the honorable guest of honor, Mheshimiwa Senator. Kuja. Wewe na DJ mukishikana, taka tu karibu.
Asante. Umesema nifanye namna gani? Tukaribishe senator kwa nguvu. Bas. DJ, ile maneno ya Thailand bado naikumbuka. Kwa hivyo naomba tu welcome senator kwa nguvu, si ndio? Kama tunaweza simama itakuwa ni sawa sana. Bwana senator, karibu sana, jukwaa sasa ni yako. Karibu. Karibu bwana senator. Karibu sana. Karibu. Bwana senator, kidogo hata unafaa kudance kidogo pia. Jukwaa ni yako kidogo. Haya, asante, asanteni.
Wow. Mercy, I thought we would still do another 30 seconds of the song. We would have danced, but nonetheless, you have told the DJ to stop the music. I hope we will have another session. I will adopt the protocol that has already been adopted by the speakers who spoke before me. Allow me, with a lot of humility, ladies and gentlemen, to say hello. Good evening. Good evening. God is good, and all the time. Thank you. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Now, I will, before I read the speech, the chairman, national chairman, told me that it's important so that you don't miss out on any of the comments that the right honorable speaker wanted to share with you today. So I'll go through the speech, but before I do that, allow me to say a few comments. And before I do that as well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Senator Wakili Hilary Sigay. I represent Bomet County in the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Bomet County is in the South Rift of the great former Rift Valley before 2010 Constitution. I am sitting as first-ranking member in the Speaker's panel, and that is why I'm here today, representing the Speaker of the Senate. Thank you. I also chair the Justice and Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee of the Senate. I was yesterday elected as an executive member of CPA. CPA is the Commonwealth Parliamentarians Association, together with 2 other young senators. And nilikuwa nataka hiyo makofi. Pige makofi. And I'm happy to be here. I've seen a lot of very familiar faces. Chris, when he was running us through a lot of those previous experiences, left out a very important part of the experience. Shortly before his nomination in 2017, I'll not tell the story. I just wanted to tell them that there is a story you left out. We will do it for another day. Caro from Zalendo, thank you very much. Becky, I've worked with Becky closely during Jubilee time and UDA time, and now she's a sitting member of the County Assembly of Nairobi. Diana as well. Where is Diana? Diana is across there. I've worked with Diana. And so I'm not a stranger in the house. I've seen Kiptoo. Kiptoo works with the ruling coalition. And a good number of you, including, of course, Mama and Baba of KYPA, or rather KYMCA. Those are not my words. Birono and the mother and the father. So I am happy and I want to congratulate you for the far that you have come. KYMCA, this is a serious event. This is a very important step in the life of a leader. And I was asking myself, when Mercy was telling us earlier on to dance, in the process, while she was encouraging us to dance, there's some statement she made and I thought, what if it was to happen? She said, let's switch off the lights. What immediately came to my mind was that she's saying we switch off the lights for the shy leaders to be allowed to dance, because she didn't tell us that there was a display that was going to be done. And I noticed, I don't know whether you also did notice, that a good number of us were a bit excited, only for her to say, we are showcasing a clip here. And of course, everyone else was like, okay, let's listen to what the clip would tell us. What am I trying to say? The leadership of every country is, to use Damari's words, from the bottom. It starts from you as members of County Assembly. That is the launch pad of every kind of leadership. And when Chris, I don't know whether it was Chris or few, when, that this is a stepping stone to other leadership positions. Don't ever shy away to use it as a launch pad for your future leadership desires. It is an opportunity that gives you the platform to experience, to deal with people, to experience the possible challenges that you're going to have in that particular position and in the position that is ahead of you. It is basically the grassroots foundation of every other public service. When Edwin told us that we need to serve, he said, serve the people. That has also been said by Mheshimiwa Umi here. But serving the people, service to humanity is not easy. It is dedication. Yani ni kujituma. So the fact that you are in this position as leaders of KYMCA and your leaders also back home in your various wards is a sacrifice that calls for appreciation. I would like to appreciate you for that which you have done. I'm also happy KYMCA is borderless. I think this team is the last team of the Gen Z, the millennia, who is in the millennium team here, a few of us, you are the Generation Z. The last of it. And you're borderless. You're borderless, why? Because you've got leadership from all the political parties within the country. You are not limited in terms of experiences. In fact, you share across the different political parties the experience that you have, from independent to the respective political parties that you represent, and above all, under the umbrella of KYMCA, I know you will go places. Let us serve the people who've given us the opportunity to serve. I always encourage myself in the Senate, because despite the challenges of the office, sitting in the speaker's panel, chairing a committee, serving the people of the county that I represent, and besides that one, I'm also a practicing lawyer, so I run a law firm that I must report almost on a daily basis. And of course, I won't forget to tell you I'm a family man. So all those demands of you and your space and your time and your dedication, I'm happy to be part of KYMCA's program, which is the major program for what you intend to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to read the speech of the Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, on whose shoes I am here tonight. Remarks by Right Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, EGH, Speaker of the Senate, Republic of Kenya, at the official launch of Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies Strategic Plan in Nairobi on Friday, August 11th, 2023. I'm honored to join you for this landmark event. And right from the outset, I must register my deep appreciation to the entire Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies fraternity for the invite to be part of this historic moment this evening. KYMCA prides itself in being a country legislation caucus that brings together young county legislators to advocate for and support pro-youth legislations and policies. KYMCA mission, as explained so elaborately and clearly, is to be an effective voice of young people in county assemblies and beyond, setting the agenda of the counties towards more youth-focused policies in fostering, strengthening, and furthering the youth agenda in their respective counties and in Kenya at large. As a patron of this great caucus, I take great pride in being associated with this caucus and the noble aspirations it stands for, in bringing together young and dynamic leaders eager to leave a mark in their generation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, this event has been organized for the sole purpose of launching the Kenya Young Members of County Assemblies Strategic Plan 2023-2028. This blueprint that espouses aspirations of the caucus, setting out the goals and clearly stating the means through which they will be attained. The KYMCA strategic plan that we are launching this evening has been developed since the year 2022. I am aware that it has been validated by the county coordinators and will be the guiding document for the association for the next 5 years. To this extent, it is my firm belief that a lot of thought, consultation, brainstorming went into the crafting of this vital document that will serve as a critical roadmap towards realization of KYMCA's objectives and aspirations. It is our collective hope that this strategic plan will sharpen the effectiveness of the young legislators in the county assemblies and propel them to discharge their role more effectively and with impactful outcomes. Honorable members of county assemblies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our great partners, the county assemblies in which you serve and the partners that you are with us tonight stand out as one of the institutional strands through which the Kenyan people exercise their sovereign power in the 47 counties in line with Article 1, Sub-Article 3A of the Constitution. Specifically, county assemblies draw their mandate from the Article 176, which expressly states, and I quote, "There shall be a county government for each county consisting of a county assembly and a county executive." And Article 185 of the Constitution proclaims the legislative authority of a county, which is vested in and exercised by its county assembly. The role that you are doing under KYMCA in terms of the objectives that you've laid out in the strategic plan speaks directly to these two articles, Article 176 and 185 of the Constitution of Kenya. By these edicts, ladies and gentlemen, your role is placed in right at the heart of our collective endeavor to progress as one united nation, but with devolved governance structures that ensures every part of our country features in the development priorities and the agenda of our country. As young legislators, the task of influencing development and progress in our country through youth-focused legislative interventions could not be overemphasized. The youth expose the ambitions, visions, and goals of any nation. In other words, the youth are the future of any nation in any part of the world. In the case of our country, Kenya, you, as young legislators in our county assemblies, are the face of that transformational, inclined generation. Your role, therefore, is influencing the positive change for the benefit of our people. It is not by mere luck or happenstance that you occupy the position you currently hold as young legislators in our county assemblies. Whether nominated or elected, and irrespective of gender, you demonstrated leadership traits that caught the eye of the voters and political, culminating in your election, and for some of you, in your nomination. The challenge now is for you to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that the responsibility bestowed on you was done in good faith and is not in vain. I therefore implore upon you not to rest on your laurels, but instead work steadfastly and diligently in giving service to the people who demonstrated the high level of confidence in you. Armed with this strategic plan, you have the capability and capacity to work individually and as a team in mainstreaming the youth agenda in the activities of our 47 counties and beyond. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, we have just crossed the tarmac with regards to implementation of devolution in our country. That first decade has been eventful and characterized by numerous challenges. Some of the challenges threatened the very pillars of hope and aspirations we espoused when we promulgated the Constitution in the year 2010 that ushered in the devolution that we currently enjoy. From delayed disbursements to counties, which undermine service provision and delivery, to interference with devolved functions and perfunctory support from sections of national government and its agencies. The last 10 years presented a veritable learning curve for all of us in the devolution space. Having been a governor for those 10 years, before transiting to the Senate leadership, I am fully conversant with how incapacitating these hurdles have been to county governments and their efforts to provide service and drive the development agenda at the grassroots level. Much as these challenges at the time seemed overwhelming and intimidating, we never allowed them to kill the spirit of devolution. We persistently persuaded, cajoled, pushed, and where necessary sought legal assistance in our bid to entrench devolution. As the second decade of devolution gets into its earnest, we have to remain resolute and firm about the fact that devolution is here to stay, and it is here to stay with you as the young members of county assemblies whose future is in the hands of every one of you today. As the Speaker of the Senate, which by dint of Article 96 exists to defend the interest of counties and their governments, I give you my full assurance that this standpoint is non-negotiable. I dare say this, as young legislators, you are the people this country banks on to ensure the dreams of devolution remain alive in their hearts and practical in their lives. I challenge you to grab the bull by the horns and respond to the emergent challenges in our society, which have been headlined by climate change, which is, by the way, one of the major objectives of this particular forum, and all its numerous manifestations. High unemployment among the youth, global recession, have depleted financial resources directly needed for service delivery and development. These are just but a few of the many. You have the opportunity to lead in development of responses to climate change, bring insights into our efforts to make county governments more self-reliant financially through creation of new revenue streams, boost food security through sustainable agricultural practices, and be the box for an economic renaissance fueled by technological advancement. Allow me to inspire you with the immortal words of Alvin Toffler, who said, and I quote, "The secret message communicated to most young people today is that they are not needed, that the society will run itself quite nicely until they, at some distant point in future, will take over the reins. Yet the fact is that the society is not running itself nicely because the rest of us need all the energy, brains, imagination, and talent that young people can bring to bear down on our difficulties." Ladies and gentlemen, as key players in our legislative arena at the lowest but most critical level, that is at the county level, I want to give you and your caucus the full assurance that Parliament and Senate in particular will remain willing and ready to provide any support you may need in the pursuit of your objectives and goals. Feel free to engage the Senate for the necessary legislative interventions on any matter that affects you as a caucus or in the interest of the youth agenda that you are driving. The KYMCA is one viable partner that shares your visions and aspirations as youthful legislators, and with which you could initiate and cement partnership for better outcomes in your work. Without doubt, this collaboration offers practical opportunities for self-enhancement, development, and ultimately a platform for effective discharge of your work as legislators. I thank you and I salute you. Signed, Right Honorable Amason Jeffakingi, EGH, Speaker of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much and congratulations once again, KYMCA. And to close on it, the partners who are with you today, this room is full of hope.
National Chairman Honorable Hussein Dagane pia, alafu pia mrembo wetu Honorable hapo tu jina bas mama karibu, asante. Alafu nitamwita Miss Caroline Gaita, Mr. Edwin Adoga, alafu na Damaris Karaoke. Tafadhali madam, siwezi kukuita na hiyo jina, pole, ni karatasi vile imewekwa. Aya, kisha mwisho kabisa nitamwita CEO wetu Honorable Chris Mark, ili tukuje hapa tukate pale, lakini hii makasi nitampatia mheshimiwa seneta wetu. twende huku tukakate Tuko tayari? Rehearsals ni hapo tu. Alafu mimi nikisema 1 2 3 tunafanya rehearsals. Nikisema tu 1 2 3 mpaka 5 yani. Alafu hapo inajifungua shwa, alafu tunakata, si ndio? Sawa. Tuko tayari? Mheshimiwa, tumefanya rehearsal ya kutosha? Aya. The count of 5 4 3 2 1. Makofi jamani! I tell you, this was the moment that we were all waiting for. DJ, unaweza tuchangamsha na ngoma tukipiga makofi? Jamani, tufurahie. Hii ni yetu. Makofi! DJ unanyangusha. Ile ya kutuchangamsha kidogo. Hiyo ni nyimbo gani DJ? Hata weka Vaida ikikushinda. Aya, keki ipande stage. Tuchangamke kidogo. Mbona hatukaeni kama tumefurahia? Aya.
There's been a lot of toasting. Lots of guys have been up to her, but she told them she was waiting for the one that God was sent to fulfill a kind of craving, a special kind of loving, one without the understanding. Come rain, come shining. People started to say that she wanted more than a Mr. Right. All that she wanted was a man that sees the light. They say she's a fool for being uptight, when all that she wants is good love, not be fight. Special kind of girl, hard to come by. This kind of girl I even want to make my wife. You're the one, say no more. Don't bother about what the people say, cause I say every time that I look into your eyes, I see fire in there. Fire. And if you look into my eyes, you see desire in there. Desire. When you love is a crime, then I want to be wanted. Said if love is a crime, I'm willing to be haunted. Got a lot of respect for you, but your love is so rare, so rare.
To our partners, kindly mkuje kwa podium tuweze kukata keki sasa.
Tafadhali.
Our partners, tukate keki sasa tafadhali. Chairman, Madam Gaita tafadhali. Edwin. Mkuje ili tuweze kukata hii keki. Edwin, mziki iko hapo. Mabega. Madam Gaita. Buluma. MCAs wetu wote wakuje hapa mbele. Damaris.
Benedicta Rono pia. Benedicta Rono.
Birono. Na Phoebe tafadhali mfike hapa. Na Roni pia. Na chairman wako wapi? Mabega kwanza alafu tukate keki.
Tafadhali Chief Whip. Brano soda thinga kwa hapo juu. Sasha pia.
Mabega. Hussein uko wapi chairman?
Wageni wetu wale ambaye tulialika tafadhali tupande juu kwa.
Waluya kwa nyumba. Hussein chairman tafadhali uko hapa. Judy Mwaniki. Sawa, mabega sasa. Chairman Saidi tafadhali. Chairman Saidi Ali tafadhali. Kinoti tafadhali. Winnie Njala, tafadhali kuja tukate keki. Louis.
Atupandi juu. Tunapanda pia chini. Yes? Sawa basi. Asante sana. Aya DJ. Hiyo nayo umecheza sana. Asante. Kama Luya mmoja amekulipa. Itabidi CEO na senator tukuje tukate keki pamoja tafadhali.
Haina quorum, lazima mkuwe na quorum hapo ya kukata keki.
Haya.
2/3 gender rule.
Sasa hapa tutakata tukisema kata ama Jesus. Tukate tu. Tuseme bismillah. Haya basi, kwa sababu tulianza na kuomba kwa Wakristo, tumalize na bismillah. Haya, to spell bismillah. Basi to spell bismillah. Do we just say bismillah? Waislamu wanasema bismillah. Amen. Right. Aya, asante. Jamani, makofi. Mbona tumekaa hivyo? Tumechoka? Chakula iko. Makofi. Asante. DJ, itabidi tumetuwekea ngoma juu tumechoka wengine. Labda. Ai! Tuende nalo basi. Kama mwezi piga makofi basi mguu inuke. Tukikatiwa keki.
Senator, pewa keki bana na treasurer hapa. Hiyo italeta shida. Chairman Hussein, tafadhali. Kuja jamaa, kuja. We kuja bana. Chris Mark, CEO, Umisha, one of the partners. Chris Mark, tafadhali. Damaris na Madam Gaita, courtesy of the CEO, KYMCA. NDI. Sawa, Chris Mark, maliza. Ingine tutakulia huko. Tafadhali. So that we can have our dinner. As we exit from the stage, tafadhali.
Tukishakula tunatoka, si ndio?
Ukipata keki, exit from the stage, tafadhali. As we exit from the stage. Hey, Edwin. As we exit the stage, tafadhali. Sawa Kinoti, tafadhali, and Mercy. We exit the stage, tafadhali. Now we exit the stage. We go to the next item so that we can serve dinner. As we exit the stage, good people. We want to break for dinner now. DJ.
Haya, asanteni sana. Tunaweza kaa chini tukisubiri keki nyingine ikufikie, si ndio? Tunataka tumalize hii event. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana kwa kunipatia motisha ya kuendelea na hii kazi. Nyinyi ni wale watu, si ndio? Nyinyi ni wale watu wangu wa Dubai. Asanteni sana. So tunataka tumalize na maombi. Sawa sawa. Yes, tukishamaliza kuna chakula. Sasa zile tunakula, tuna dance, tunajuana zaidi. Si ndio? Si ati tumalize tuende, msinimeze, kuna chakula. Asanteni sana. Sasa sijui yule ambaye alituombea ndio aombe tena saizi.
Okay, we may be upstanding for a word of prayer, please. Okay, let us believe and pray. Our mighty Heavenly Father, once again this evening, we come before your throne. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this evening. Thank you for making our event a success, dear God. Thank you to everyone who have participated in this event, oh dear God. Thank you because we have felt your spirit amidst us, oh dear God. As we finish up the program for the day, we ask of thy mercy. We ask of thy mercy for journey mercies, oh dear God. We thank you and we worship you, for this is our prayer of faith in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Tuko na chakula ambayo iko pale. Tuendeni tu tukakule tukijuana. Tafadhali DJ. Twende kazi sasa.
The ushers are going to serve the cakes. Mercy, ulipata keki? Okay, tafadhali, we have food outside. It's self-service. Tafadhali.
Twendeni tukule. Ama wana slay kidogo. Wana slay? Wana slay. Duka uchiro. Just wanted to say hi. Hey, masiro makatieno. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.